Warm welcome to all who have joined me today. This video is based on chapter 10 of the year 12 textbook. Let's begin with a short prayer adapted from Pope Francis' message for the 55th World Communication Day. Lord, teach us to set out in search of truth. Teach us to go out and see. Teach us to listen, not to entertain prejudices or draw hasty conclusions. Teach us to take time needed to understand and to distinguish deceptive appearances from truth. Grant us the grace to recognize your dwelling places in our world and the honesty needed to tell others what we have seen. Amen. In this video, I will first explain what mass media is. Then I will list and describe some of the important functions of the mass media, then historical context, followed by the important topic of how to use mass media safely. Finally, the importance of mass media for Christian communicators. First, what is mass media or mass communication? It is there all around us. The best way to understand what mass media is to think about how mass communication is different from one-to-one communication. I'm going to list 4 important differences between mass communication and one-to-one communication. Firstly, it is a one-to-many communication. One person, such as the creator of a television program or a YouTube video, communicates to many people at the same time. So one person can send the same message to many. This communication is one way. The person receiving the message cannot influence the person sending the message. All you can do is to provide feedback through comments, or you can indicate whether you like or dislike. Not much beyond that. It is so impersonal. While one-to-one communication is personal and highly interactive. Another important difference is the use of technology. As the technology evolved, mass media also evolved along with it. It is also a commodity. There is often a commercial side to mass communication. Now let us look at the functions of the mass media. I am sure you will agree that it is playing an ever-increasing important role in our lives. Mass media serves as our eyes and ears to know about the world, the news, the weather, the public events, and so on. We are now relying on mass media and social network to find out what is happening even in our neighborhoods and even in our family networks. Another important function is that we use this information around the world, about the world around us, to confirm and validate our ideas about the world. We love to believe that our ideas are correct, even if those ideas are not really correct. Mass media is becoming an essential part of both formal and informal education with a range of high-quality educational videos and other resources. Then, of course, the entertainment. Not just to watch the program, we use mass media to follow celebrities. Mass media allows fans to feel connected to the celebrities they like. It provides a sense of companionship and belonging. And unfortunately, this can become the main source of companionship and belonging to many. Another important function of mass media is the social networking. Social networks have evolved along with mass media. Community groups are also relying on mass media to mobilize people and to organize mass movements, as you may have seen in global issues like climate change or even local issues like planning permission. Another important function is to find out about the cultural norms. We tend to study how people do things and tend to imitate what we see. Mass media plays an important role in deciding what we come to believe as the norm. All businesses nowadays use mass media to carry out these essential services as customer services, product information, updates, and communicating to the staff. This is not just restricted to private businesses. It also applies to government and voluntary sector organizations. It has become an important tool in their intelligence gathering about customers and the public. Mass media allows governments and businesses and other institutions to understand the social changes and is also used for surveillance, security, and research. In the next section, let us look at mass media from a historical perspective. From the time civilizations evolved, there has been a need to share ideas and information, and societies developed more sophisticated tools to do this. Language evolved, then writing and paper, then printing press, and now internet. According to some historians, the first mass media development was the printing press. Printing press allowed the production and distribution of huge numbers of books and leaflets at low cost. Invention of printing press was an important factor which led to great social and political changes in the 15th and 16th century. Before the printing press, Bible and other important books had to be carefully handwritten by highly educated scribes. Printing changed everything. Here are two very popular quotes from those times which explains the worries about the mass distribution of opinions. Printed books will never be equivalent to handwritten codices. Why? Because scribes display more diligence and industry than printers. Another quote: the horrible mass of books that keeps growing might lead to a fall back to barbarism. If you look on the second page of your Catechism textbook, you will see this. Imprimatur Mar George Alancheri, Major Archbishop of the Syro-Malabar Church. Imprimatur is a Latin word and it means let it be printed. This is something granted by a bishop and started in the 17th century. But this system is not possible with modern digital mass media. So it's important for all of us to learn to use the mass media in a safe manner. This leads us to the next section, using mass media. Here we need to be aware of two important issues. First, there is a huge amount of content available and it is all around us. And it is not regulated or monitored. Secondly, it has become so easy for anyone to produce and distribute mass media content. First, we all need to learn to critically analyze information presented to us, no matter how credible the source appears to be. A significant proportion of mass communication is motivated by political, financial, or personal gains. The information is presented from their perspective. So who is saying and why they are saying what they are saying becomes as important as what is being said. The question we need to ask is whether this is relevant or important for us. If we do not learn to do this, we can all get easily influenced by the media without realizing it. Secondly, we all need to learn to separate facts from opinions. A fact is something which can be proved to be correct. An opinion is what someone thinks or believes and cannot be proved. It may appear to be easy to separate facts from opinions, but not so. Opinions are often expressed with so much emotions that listeners tend to be influenced so easily, and it can be mistaken as facts. This becomes a serious problem when there is already some fear and uncertainty. You see that with political ideologies, religious extremism, and ultranationalism, where opinions are presented as facts. Unfortunately, mass media is full of opinions with no or grossly distorted facts. Mass media has many opinion leaders and influencers who can be highly opinionated and persuasive. They can distort facts to support their opinions, and they are often motivated by political, financial, and personal reasons. Next, beware of FOMO, or the fear of missing out. Social media makes it too easy for us to compare our lives to others. This comparison happens all the time, and it is almost always followed by a feeling that our lives is not as good as the other person. FOMO, or the fear of missing out, can be more serious than we are aware of. There is a feeling of something exciting happening elsewhere, and we are not part of it. So it is important to remind ourselves that social media posts are very selective, and it is not a true representation of real life. So we cannot use social media posts to decide how we lead our lives. Closely related is the availability of too many options and opinions. It is easy to become paralyzed by choices. If you worry about missing out the best, then you may end up spending too much time deciding what is the best, or may not be able to make a decision at all. So it is important to commit to a good enough decision and be satisfied with what you decide or have. Why can't I stop scrolling? We all find ourselves scrolling endlessly through social media posts or links on web pages looking for something exciting. Scientists have found that randomly finding something exciting can be highly addictive. Content providers are continuously gathering information about the users, and they become more effective in presenting images which can attract your attention. So it is important to set limits on how much time you spend online. Moving on to the final section, Christian communicators and mass media. Here we look at how we can use mass media as Christian communicators to fulfill our responsibility to spread the good news throughout the world. Inde Mirifica, or Among the Wonderful, is the document on this from the Second Vatican Council. Also, every year on the Sunday before Pentecost, the Church celebrates the World Communication Day. It was established by Pope Paul VI in 1967 as an annual reminder that encourages us to reflect on the opportunities and challenges of the mass media. The key message is that we are all required to announce the good news of salvation to the whole world. It is an important part of being followers of Christ. Mass media offers us many opportunities to do that. And we should not hesitate to use the new opportunities which technology provides us to spread the good news to the whole world. But we also need to be aware of the dangers and limitations of mass media. I'm going to mention one important point from Pope Francis' message for the 55th World Communication Day on 16th May 2021. Come and see, John 1:46 was the title of his message. Pope Francis uses the first words used by Jesus from St. John's Gospel to speak to his disciples when he invited them to enter into a relationship with him. Going and seeing is the simplest method to know a situation. So Pope Francis is asking all of us to hit the streets and try to understand what is happening in people's lives rather than being mere spectators through mass media or immerse ourselves in virtual reality. Pope Francis is asking all of us to be witnesses of the truth, to go, to see, and to share. Pope Francis writes, nothing can ever completely replace seeing things in person. Just like his apostles encountering Jesus and bearing witness to him more than 2000 years ago, when invisible God let himself be seen, heard, and touched. Now it's our turn to do this. Let us finish with a social media prayer. Lord, bless all bloggers, inspire all Instagrammers, bring wisdom and hope to all on WhatsApp. May faith shine through on Facebook. May all tweeters be temperate in tone. May spirit be within those who Snapchat, Skype, and TikTok. Grace all digital missionaries with wisdom, courage, understanding, love, and trust in you. Amen. Thank you for joining. See you for the next lesson. Bye for now.